I tried to make an April Fool's video, but all I could manage to set up was this podcast with Shovel241. Hi, Shovel. Welcome to
Hi.
my awful podcast studio.
I mean, there is sand dripping down on my face. So
Yeah, it happens, you know.
if any more comes down, I will have to sue you.
Okay. Um, that's an issue that we'll unpack later.
Well, if it makes you
Okay.
feel any better, Waspy's my lawyer. So you'll
Oh, well,
probably win.
yeah, I'm fine. Okay. I suppose I owe the lovely people watching. Well, I can't control my face very well. I suppose I owe the lovely people watching. Oh, okay. Got a hole in the back now. I suppose I owe the lovely people watching an explanation as to the context, why the heck we're here. So, for about 4 years now, this would be my fifth, I have made an April Fool's video. And I had this really awesome idea that I loved that I started to work on mid-February, only to realize that it was going to take forever. And I didn't want to sacrifice the quality of that idea. And so I started a new one in mid-March and I wanted some help for. And so I messaged Shovel. I said, "Hey, Shovel, I really, really, really would love your help on an April Fool's video. It's a podcast setup, and it's like I rented a robot of you, and you're just giving one-word responses, and I'm pathetic, and it'll be really funny." And I went on, and then you were like, "Hold on, slow down. Why are you doing this?" And it made me kind of face the difficult question of separating what I think I should be doing and what I actually want to do.
Well, just to like chime in, I think that at least when you relate it right then, I wasn't trying to stop you from
Oh no.
doing that skit. I think that is a lot more. Sorry, my brain is warming back up after it being on vacation for 2 weeks. Um, I think that you seemed a little unsatisfied with
Yeah.
how the
I
idea
think I
was
used the words
formulating.
scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yes, yeah, that's what you used. And I'm always a big proponent of if you're making content that you don't want to do solely for the sake of content, I mean, why are you doing it? Unless it's your job, like your full-time job, and like
Yeah.
there's a guaranteed payday at the end so that you can like feed your family or whatever. That's one thing. But if you're doing this because it's your passion, then like don't take the passion out of it, you know? So I was a little confused why you felt like you had to do it
Yeah, absolutely.
when
I mean, you
yeah,
were
it's
right
just
to be
about,
confused.
doing what you want to do.
Yeah, it's I think like and I went on to tell you, and I'll recount some of that now, that I I often wonder if it's like the product or the process that I actually find fulfilling, or if that even matters at all. And like, I don't know about you, but a lot of my creative process is filled with dread. So, and that sounds horrible, bear with me. And so, scraping the bottom of the barrel felt more like um, a way to describe how I was desperate to fulfill myself rather than fulfill any sort of quota. And maybe those are the same things, or maybe I'm not even making sense. But I kind of rationalized a little bit that like I don't know how much or how little this is an obligation for me, but I do know that I get personal fulfillment for that, and apparently that's enough. But I really don't know. It's a difficult question that I don't have satisfying answers to.
Yeah.
So I want to, yeah,
I think that that's a pretty normal thing when you're brainstorming an idea. Every single time I start a new project, I'd say that for the first 75% of it, I'm like, man, this is the worst thing I've ever done. Um, and it's only in that last 25% where I feel fulfilled and happy that I did it, you know? Because that first 75%, it takes a long time to do. And it's when you're flying blind, um, it's a little scary, honestly, to.
You know, it
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, sorry. It's hard to do podcasts with people on the internet because you can't like read their facial expressions. Um,
I prefer it. I get so distracted by like everything. Like once my mind starts running, then my mouth just shuts down, and I think that it helps that it's just I don't know.
yeah, that makes
Just
sense to me.
a dot on the screen
Yeah.
that's lighting up. That helps me because as soon as I start reading facial expressions, I just can't. I get too stuck in my own head.
So you saying that about not enjoying the first 75%. I mean, I I hate to say it, but it does make me feel a little bit better to hear you say that
Oh, good.
because you outwardly at least seem to have like the most healthy relationship with your creative process out of the people I know. Every time I talk to you, you've got some kind of schedule, and you've got a list of things to do and a process, and it's all very methodical, and it seems like you've got things figured out.
Right.
But what I'm hearing is it's a lot messier than that.
Well, I think it's both. It's inherently a non-linear process, like something, an occupation that you are the sole contributor towards, or like you are, whether or not you are able to keep it as your job is 100% up to you. So like that's kind of the outlook that I have on YouTube in general is even though I have people that help with the builds and stuff, when it comes down to it, like the videos are what keep this my job. So there's a lot of pressure with that. But kind of going back to your point, I think that it is both. It's not always clean and easy. It's hard, and like they're supposed to be hard because I like to push myself on these projects. And if I didn't, I really wouldn't be very interested in it if I just kept on repeating the same old stuff. So when you're pushing yourself, things are going to be ugly a lot of the time. And that ugliness in the first 75%, that's where trusting the process really, really matters. So when you talk to me and I'm like, I have this schedule and stuff, like it's all there because I know that if I do this, then it's going to lead to this. And then like I've just done it so many times now that like I know once I hit that threshold, then I'm going to love it. And like, what else
Yeah.
am I gonna do? This is my job. It's not like I can just, you know, procrastinate forever on it. You know.
Yeah, that kind of relates to the next sort of thing I have on my little paper of stuff. That like there's this wall of sorts that I see people hit, and I hit it myself, where you have this like huge cascade of inspiration, but you can't create things fast enough to satisfy it, so that cascade kind of turns into a bit of a nightmare scenario where it's just too much all at once and you don't know what to do next, and so you don't do anything next.
Well, don't
And
don't
I
think
yeah,
about what's next.
yeah,
That's what you have to do. You have to be completely in the moment, and narrow your focus down as small as possible. You have to focus on one thing at a time. for me at least. Um, which kind of, to elaborate on that, I don't have like a full on perfectly lined out schedule on what I want to do, but I make a rule for myself that if I start something, I have to finish it and I cannot start on anything else until I finish that thing. And I see a lot of builders, talented builders, or just creatives in general. It doesn't have to be just limited to building. Who will just like kind of dance around and bounce from project to project. And I look at them, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months down the line, and they haven't finished any projects. And that scares the crap out of me because I
Yeah.
need to finish projects. So even if it's just one tiny, seemingly insignificant piece, all of those pieces contribute to a whole, and they are all important. So better to get one done than get 10 of them 15% of the way done.
Your process is very specific, partially because very specific, very regimented, partially because you do this as a job. Is there a something that people who are inspired by you can take from it that
Hmm.
can give them a little more freedom? That, because I know, like, the idea of sticking with one thing until it's completely done is very unattractive for a lot of people who do the game for fun, including me, because I like exploring ideas as I get them, and that often means jumping from project to project.
Um, well, in that case, like, I don't know if I'm the best person to answer this question because since I got hurt a few years ago and I started doing this at the very from the very beginning when I couldn't work and I could barely walk, I was like, I'm going to make this my job and I'm going to put my all into it. So, I mean, I had some savings, but like I literally had nothing else to do. And
Yeah.
that's when I was working for the 12 hours a day. And I'm not the best example to follow because, I mean, this is my all. This is my everything. This is my baby.
Yeah.
So,
It's a gamble of sorts to go the direction you went,
yeah, I don't think
because
that people who have other obligations
yeah,
like
that too, yeah.
school and work and that kind of stuff can look to me um, as a path to success because I had a very very unique situation, and I mean I worked really hard, but if I tried to make it while I was working full time, I 100% couldn't. Like there's just not there aren't enough hours in the day, and there's only so much that someone's mind can withstand, you know. Um, so
Yeah.
I
Um
tried to train it like training a muscle,
yeah,
and
okay.
it was if you're already tired from your other mental workouts like work or school, then like there's not enough juice in the tank to really to get everything that to get everything out of it that I got out of it.
Yeah. I mean, I've mentioned in the past, in a past video, the one that got all popular, that I recommend that people start small or stay small even. And I think that can that is a like going outside your capability, your time capability is a huge killer of these sorts of projects, because
Mm-hmm.
I think one, like, mega projects are take deceptively long. Um,
Oh yeah.
like 100 hours is seems like, oh, that's just a 2 work weeks and a half work week, but those are work weeks, 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day every 5 days with 2 days breaks, two days of break time, and that is a huge undertaking to fit just one single project into. So I think it's no wonder that it's so easy to burn out trying to do what you do.
Yeah, I mean, like I have a pretty unique situation. The only people that have the same freedom of time that I do are, I don't know, other YouTubers, of course, and I don't know, people who are so rich and that they don't have to work anyways, you know,
Yeah.
um, which is not super feasible for the common person because I don't know the best advice that I can give to people who want to do what I do. I mean, I'm not naive. I know that most of them are in school. So the best
Yeah.
advice is school is your one thing. Okay? Focus on that. When I was in school, I went freaking crazy over that. Um, I put as much work into studying in college than I did, that I than I do like right here in Minecraft. And once you develop those habits in the future, when you do have more time and less obligations, your brain is conditioned to do a lot of that stuff. But I mean, it takes time, it takes discipline, and a lot of practice.
Yeah. I think practice is one of those things that feels, I think you can bill practice as like a task necessary to do what you want, or, and I prefer this as someone who does not do Minecraft for work, I like to think of practice as the thing that I look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
um and yeah, you're saying things better than I ever could. I think this is a really, really good spot to wrap up.
Okay.
Thank you, Shovel.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, this was so fun. All right. Happy April Fools, y'all. Go rickroll your family. Why do I keep breaking backwards when I punch forwards? Anyway, okay. Do you take invoice?
Yeah.
E-transfer?
PayPal's fine, or you can just subscribe to my Patreon.
I'll link that in the description.
See ya.
All right, bye.